T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world, 7 days a week, right here on YouTube. Episode 518, what is good? New breed on the block every Monday, and that is what's going down tonight. I'm your boy MJ. What's good, man? How's everyone doing out there, man? I miss you guys. Oh, I just saw you Saturday, but listen, this is your first time hanging out. If you're into keeping reptiles, you want to learn more, you want to get more behind the scenes of the marketing side and the breeding side or overall keeping side, this is the podcast to be subscribed to. So first and foremost, thank you for all my subscribers. If you've been subscribed to this channel and been fucking with this channel for a while, thank you so much. That really means a lot. And again, you can listen to any of these podcasts on the major audio platforms. So if you type in Trap Talk Reptile Network on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, all the major ones, you can listen to the Trap Talk Reptile Network. So shout out to all the early birds. You guys are awesome, man. Love everyone who's here early, ready to rock and roll. And I know it's mainly for the guests, man, because it's all about the guests. And we have a really cool guest. We have a female reptile keeper in the building tonight. Super excited to chop up soon with Jen from Cigar City Exotics, man. But listen, I do want to say, please support USARK as we move forward into tonight's episode. You not need to check out USARK if you don't support USARK yet. All right, second link in the description below. Click on it, usark.org. Read all about USARK. Become a USARK member today. Help get these numbers up. You never know when these legislations are going to hit your county, your area, your backyard. Protect your animals. Shout out to USARK. Shout out to Phil Goss. Shout out to the entire USARK family. And again, shout out to you if you support USARK. All right. Very blessed for tonight's sponsor, and that's the Reptile Super Show, #1 show in the country. All right. Shout out to Rami. And shout out to anyone out there who's going to the Anaheim Reptile Super Show, July 27th and 28th, right around the corner next weekend. Holy cow. Wait, actually, I take that back. This weekend. Man, time's flying. Holy cow. Dude, what's happening? Anyways, shout out to Rami and shout out to the Reptile Super Show. Fortunately, I won't be there on that day. It's my son's first birthday. So I will be checking out only on this time, which bummed out because I like going to Anaheim. Anaheims are a popping show, man. The traffic wise, it is 24/7 popping. All right. So shout out to all the vendors who are going to be vending, and shout out to you if you're going. But I really recommend, if you have a free weekend this weekend, go to the Reptile Super Show. It's going to be awesome. And again, shout out to anyone out there who supports the Reptile Super Show. Shout out to Rami, killing it, big dog. Appreciate it. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by my man TJ over at TOFAUTI Royals of Africa. Killing it in the Mandarin game, and he has produced some amazing stuff this year. Has stuff actually available. If you head over to his Morph Market, type into TOFAUTI Royals of Africa. Also, check him out on IG. I'm telling you right now, no one's on this guy's level when it comes to the Mandarin gene, and he's really has made a name for himself with that. So thank you so much, TJ, for supporting the trap and doing everything that you do. Again, TOFAUTI Royals of Africa on Morph Market on IG. All right, and in his website, you can catch all those links in the description below. All right. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. Stay fresh, stay cutting edge. If you're definitely building a collection, you want to make sure you are organized and you're not missing anything. I'm telling you right now, you got to sometimes just sit back and look on how you can make things look more sharp, more clean, more organized. And that's Clutch. So shout out to Clutch. Shout out to Sebastian. Shout out to Summer, Justin, the entire Clutch team. All right. It's a whole team over there. That's for sure. And really honored and awesome to have them support the trap. And of course, last but not least, shout out to the Chipper, the COCO dude, #1 COCO substrate in the game. The trap, fully reptiles sleeping on substrate made by the Chipper. All right. If you go to cocodude.com, no matter what you order, at the end of the order, you can type in TrapFam24 in the promo code section. Get 24% off the entire order for the entire year. So thank you, Chris from the Chipper, aka the cocodude.com. Find those links in the description below. And here he is. Big E, Top G, Villarino, Reptiles. Hey, I don't want to sound racist, but fresh off the boat.
We don't come on boats anymore, bro.
I know, but it's because maybe like you might have anyways. You've been on the boat a lot lately. All I'm saying, you've been on the boat quite a bit, all right? And you've been having quite the time. And
yeah, man. I'm telling you, bro, going forward, I think like egg season and July and August, I think I'm gonna try not to vend those months going forward. Right. And just enjoy the summer, enjoy the process of getting eggs, and enjoy the summertime, the water, and then September, bam, start the shows again.
Epic. And you're in the thick of, as far as your season is like late, as far as clutches being laid, even stuff starting to hatch. Correct me if I'm right.
Yeah, I've got 44 clutches already.
Wow.
Of 80. So I've got another 36 to go.
Okay, and you can predict of your last clutch being when? This like around what time of the year?
Bro, I don't count, man. If I had to tell you my last one, if I had to like give you a quick estimate, I'd say in 2 months.
2 months? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. And then in about 2 months, I mean, you would say all the other stuff that's already hatched out, you'll be ready, more likely to wanting to vend at that point, right? Because you're gonna have stock.
Either way, I'm gonna start vending in September.
Okay.
I'll have some stuff ready to go by then. So
Daytona right around the corner. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, bro. We're gonna have a hell of a time.
Try not to think about it because I definitely get all excited. And I got to think how safe I need to be. I can't. This can't be the fourth in a row something happens to me where I don't make it to Daytona. So we got to make sure I play it safe for the first few days. I don't plan on going anywhere. I do kind of want to I want to do something adventurous, but maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah,
anyway.
Everything's gonna be fine, bro.
It's gonna be great, and just like all the lovely people in the live chats, I gotta tell you, man, the chats are cracking. Even see some names I haven't seen before, and I'm sure they're here for the homegirl Jen. Which before we get to the people in the chats, what's up with Jen from Cigar City Exotics? I could have sworn I met her out of Arlington. She just has one of those features where I could have sworn I've met her, but I haven't. But what do you know about her? Because this is your guest in a sense. You booked her, so what's going on? Give us a little bit of what we have to look into for tonight.
Aggressive. She's got charisma. They've got an amazing, brand going.
Cool.
She's doing the Repticons. I met her at Repticon. As you know, I was distributing the chipper. I was selling her some COCO here and there, and she's awesome. She's representing the females to the fullest.
And she's in Florida?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we been together sometimes.
I thought she was a Tex. I'm not trying to judge her appearance. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's a lot of redhead girls that live in Texas, maybe. And she just gives me that vibe. But the fact that she's from Florida, I'm telling you right now, Florida people are built differently. I'm telling you right now, man. They really are. So now I'm even more excited for tonight's episode because like I said, I'm stoked. This is going to be great.
Yeah, man. A lot of us have been the whole state. We get to know each other pretty well. So, yeah, she's awesome. So,
all right, like I said,
we're gonna get to know her a little better today.
We definitely are hitters in the chats. Let's say hi to some people that are here, ready to rock and roll, like the early birds. I'll be Big Mike, 1776 Exotics. Big Mike, am I going to see you when I tap in here in Southern Florida in like 3 weeks? Let me know. We got to chop it up.
Fort Lauderdale. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Appreciate you, Big Mike. Brian, Heath and Hatchery in the building. What's good? Trap Talk Patreon member. Yo, big ups to Brian.
Oh, bro. Yeah, dude. Go ahead.
Hey, hello fucking clutch, bro.
He killed that shit. What is it? Blackhead Hypo Clown combos that he made?
No, cinnamon. Trick clowns with some yellow belly in there, some spot nose, sick shit. Yeah. You
got to go follow the homie Brian from Heath and Hatchery. Please do not sleep on this guy. Appreciate you, dog. Nick, the Reptile Pueblo in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie James B, All City Serpents. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Kenneth Jordan in the building. City Limit Exotics. V Unit Family. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homegirl Krista, Neurify Exotics from Girls Who Love Reptiles podcast every Sunday
night.
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm talking about if you have a long week and you're like, fuck, it's late night. Wish I could just fucking just listen to some trap talk. Well, guess what? You can on a Sunday night now. Trap talk is late night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Get your mind right with Krista.
Get your mind right and stay hydrated with Krista. She would definitely tell you to stay hydrated because she's definitely about health and all that great stuff. So, but dude, I'm looking forward to her segment. She's going to be bringing some major heat, and we're going to have more clout for the female keepers. We want, like I said, man, it's not just guys, dude. It's fucking girls. Girls are killing it in this game too. So I would say some girls are cooler than some guys in this game for sure. 110%, like who we have on tonight. I guarantee it. So, but listen, we're going to end things in style because, like I said, I don't want to wait any longer. I want to bring this amazing girl on, Jen, on this show. And are you down or what? I'm ready to rock. All right, guys, listen, let's get the likes up first and foremost. If we could get the likes up, that'd be great. All right, female keeper in the building. It's going down. So it's that time. Do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. Episode 518 coming at you right now. New brand on the block, Cigar City Exotics. Let's go. Cheers.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crowd, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
And we're live, episode 518. Jen, Cigar City Exotics in the building. What's up, Jen?
Hey, how are you?
Repping Florida.
Yes, of course.
That is wild. Literally, that's wild.
That's where all the cool keepers are.
Born and raised?
Yes. Yep. Born and raised.
Well, I hate to be like the typical, like, well, how did this all start? But when it's a female keeper, I'm very interested. We don't bring enough female keepers on the show, and the dynamic seems like if you do have a man, you're the one running the show in the reptile room because I don't see no man around you right now. So what's your story? I got to know the story. Like what, how did this all come about? And where is Cigar City, by the way? Is that an actual city or is that?
So Cigar City is what Ybor City in Tampa is known as. That's kind of the area I grew up in was Ybor. So I said, why not pay homage to where I grew up and name my business after it? So
all day. I mean, I feel like that it has meaning, right? I mean, I wish people at least take a little bit that much effort into thinking how to brand themselves, right? And
I can't name it like Jen's balls. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what's crazy? I want to get to how this started with you, but I like even when I have Bob Vu like on the show, I can't even put his name in the title because YouTube strikes it. They think I'm trying to be sexual, and I'm like, dude, what do you mean? He's an actual he's an Asian fucking ball.
Yeah, but it at least makes sense for him, you know. But of me walking around being like, yeah, doesn't quite add up, you know.
Yeah. So okay, but like I'm curious. Let's take it from the beginning. You know, as far as you making this a brand and everything, what it is now. Like, what led to this?
So I was a COVID breeder. I got in 2020. I've always had a thing for reptiles and animals in general. I would keep a zoo if I could. It took my husband a lot of convincing. He was very hard no. on snakes. My mom actually also is into breeding ball pythons, so she already had a little collection going. So I would make it a point to take the kids over to her house on Sundays and send him pictures like, oh, look how cute this snake is. Like, I'm gonna nag you enough.
Wait. I'm starting to connect dots here. You never said this before, okay? So, Anna's your mom?
Anne is my mom, yeah.
Holy
from Mosaic Morphs. Yeah, that's my mom.
Shit, man. You guys never even hinted at that.
Yeah, no, that's my mom.
Can you spell that for me? Oh, what?
Mosaic, MOSAIC, Morphs.
Okay, so holy cow, that's awesome. So your mom.
She's actually in your comments.
He's super nice.
Dude, shout to your mom nice. And shout. I knew this dynamic was going to be unique because now your mom got you in the game.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, she helped me convince him for one snake, and
dude,
nothing a little bat in your eyelashes doesn't resolve. So one snake spun out.
Talk about girl power.
So you got your first snake from your mom?
Not from my mom. She took me to a Repticon. I actually got my first one from Repticon.
Okay.
I've picked up a couple from my mom. We kind of bounce back and forth. Our projects kind of run parallel to each other, so we kind of pick pieces from each other. My son, one of my sons, his first snake was from my mom. He actually saved up birthday money and bought a snake from her. So yeah, my kids are involved in this too on a level. So
how many kids do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I have 4.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, he's got 1, and he's like,
"Hey, bro."
Yeah, no, don't do it.
Hey, dude, you have to throw numbers out there, okay, dude? I got a kid, and that's what matters. All right.
Listen, if you have 2, stop at 2. 4, it gets a little crowded sometimes. It's just. There's a lot of opinions.
all I could do is literally respect people with that many kids. And I do, because I'm just like, obviously, and no disrespect, but not everyone's meant to have kids. Let's be real.
No.
There's people out there who just are very unfit parents. But then you come across people like I have, like Emilio. I've always respected, Emilio's fatherhood game, because he's had him at a young age, which is even more tough. But, when you love something that much, you don't let nothing fuck it up, and it's like, if something turns on, right? Like, it's like a stove. You become fucking nothing but just this big protection for what you put on earth. And that's why I like breeding so much, because we're creating life for something.
Yeah, really.
It's our choice to bring it here. So it's my responsibility to make sure it's, being fed and being, healthy water. All that stuff matters to me. That's why, but then also I see that with other people who are good at keeping reptiles, who are also good parents, they have that connection, which I think matters. I think doing this, right?
Absolutely.
But okay, let's get back to business here with you. And you went to your Repticon. What was
my first one?
Okay, yeah. So I want to go back to because I know we've had a lot of 2020 COVID breeders come on this show, but let's kind of go back to what you were doing. Like, do you remember if you saw a YouTube video, or was it just going to your mom's so much that it just clicked in your head? But what was the push for you to be like, I need to stop fucking around. I need to get a rack system, especially after getting the courage to go to your husband. You know what I mean? What were you looking at? What was your biggest, I guess, gateway into this?
So, well, I had to wean him into one first. His thing is don't expect me to hold it, feed it, clean it. Don't expect me to breathe in its direction. Just don't expect squat from me. So I brought one home. I set it all up. I actually did the old tank thing and built out a whole tank and planted it all up. I had it set up pretty nice.
Right.
And so I found Morph Market. So then every night I would lay there in bed and I'd scroll through Morph Market and I'd show him. I'm like, look at this one. And then he agreed to a second one, and I was like, oh shit, I need a rack. This is gonna spiral out big time and fast.
Hey, Jen, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm even trying to take it back. How did you even know about Morph Market? Did your mom put you on Morph Market?
My mom put me on it. She was the gateway.
Gotcha. Okay. and then I'm sure she also showed you about the YouTube side of things and where you could watch all this crazy stuff on YouTube.
I started just kind of searching through YouTube. I was already on YouTube because I used to watch different like motorcycle videos and stunt videos and stuff like that from different bike fests and bike shows.
Nice.
That was my past, addiction was riding. So I was already on YouTube, so I just kind of switched up my content.
We're talking street. I have to ask street, dirt.
Street, yeah, I used to ride a sport bike. Yeah.
Damn. Badass. All right. So going back to, you making this a business, right? And you kind of looking at how you want to build things as far as projects, like, let's kind of talk about what is your foundation. Like, what is it that you have establishing right now in ball pythons and what is it that you are basically more motivated to work with more than anything,
So recently I decided I was actually going to dial back on ball pythons.
Tell us more.
I want to get into more green trees. I bought my first designer from Bill last year.
Oh, that's why he's in the chats. I knew. There's always a connection with the man.
And then I actually, this weekend in Orlando, one of our breeder friends that vents with us actually has a Biac female that he's had just in his personal collection, never with the intent of breeding, and basically more or less offered it up. So yeah,
all right,
she's coming.
Let's just rewind real quick and just make sure we recap everything you said so we're on the same page.
Yes.
Ball pythons, that started it, but that's not where it's headed, is what you're telling us right now.
That's what I'm telling you.
So are you selling stuff off with your ball pythons, or are you just not adding anything? Like, let's see, what's the details of the ball python?
I'm going to focus on a few projects. So I have my DG clown projects. I have hypo clown pied projects, hypo clown projects, but I want to mix in, like, I'm big on blackhead, dark jeans, black pastel, that type of thing. So I'm going to focus on those projects per se. I'm not really going to add a whole lot more unless it truly is a puzzle piece that fits in and makes sense to what I have, with the intention of keeping the balls between like 150 with hatchlings included, so that I have more space to build my wall.
Dude, this is,
Chondros.
I'm not saying this is great because you're now going from ball pythons to chondros, even though that is, but I'm saying it's great because Emilio came to me not too long ago asking, should we switch it up species? Like, should we bring someone who isn't just doing ball pythons? And we have that person now right here. This is
I have more than that too. I have tortoises. My kids suckered me into bearded dragons. Like, I have a freaking zoo here.
I respect all that stuff, Jen, but I don't give a fuck. We're talking about the chondros now. Like, you said a magic word, and so I have a whole fucking Pandora. What is that? Pandora's box full of questions for the chondros, but I do want to cover ball python stuff first.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to get more in detail as far as, because I'm in the same boat. Trust me, like, that was my thing when I came in. It was all ball python. Majority of snakes I had were ball pythons. I saw a transition of really where I wanted things, but then I knew I can't just get, like, I have to keep some of the ball python stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fired up about it. So I have stuff I'm very fired up about. So what are some of the genes that you feel like are the ones that you feel like are going to have a home where you're at with projects, even though you can't have them all now, but you have ones that you're going to make sure that don't leave. And let's talk about those.
So I'll always have like my Wookiee clown stuff in here.
Nice.
That's
cool.
Blackhead, like I said, blackhead everything. I do have a tri-stripe pairing that I have going, which I'll probably just keep for fun, just because a lot of people I feel don't work tri-stripe. So I may just keep that.
What's that pairing?
Nothing fun, really. It's pastel lesser fire het tri to pastel het tri right now, just for shits and giggles. I have a double het dinker project that's double het TSK G stripe. The female almost looks almost like a pastel blackhead, honestly, but it's not blackhead as far as I know. At this point, testing has not come back showing that, so should be fun. But just a couple like fun things, but for the most part, it's blackhead in all of my stuff. Anything I can get blackhead in, I want blackhead in. Mix it with the Mojave, the Huffman, Wookiee, that type of thing. Keep it dark.
What's that first ball python that you guys invested in? That
the very first one I got was a cinnamon lesser ghost, orange ghost. She actually still sits here in this collection. I don't think I'll ever get rid of her just because she was the one who started this rabbit hole. So
yeah, I try to, I did my best because it all started with 7 snakes for me, right? And I saw myself adding. I remember when I got to 100 snakes, I still had those 7 snakes. And I'm like, no matter what happens, I'm going to these 7 snakes right here, no matter what I do. And of course, I only have one of those 7 now. But like, you know, at least I have that one. And I don't think I would never let her name's Mercedes. And she was the OG. She's the one I bought off Craigslist, you know. I can't even tell you how old she is. Like, but she's given me like 7 clutches. Like she's an awesome fucking snake. And breed or not, that's one thing I have a huge attachment to. And I don't want her to be, and she's still beautiful too. Like she's a pastel Mojave orange ghost. And I got her for $75 on Craigslist.
I wouldn't get rid of her either.
Yeah, so, that was in 2015 too. And I went to a trailer park to go pick it up. I'll never forget. I was so like, dude, what the fuck? And like, I go into this guy's trailer, and he has like the longest look on his face. And he's like, dude, I hope you know what you're getting. And I'm like, I had no clue what the fuck was it. All I know is like, you said $75. I'm here. Here it is. Give me that snake, you know? And so, but like, I think that guy he needed that money so bad for something. So it worked out, and for me, and I don't know about for him, but anyways, I'm with you. At least I have that one girl that I know that she's here for as long as I can keep her.
She's here to stay.
Yeah, no matter what else happens, you know.
I have 2. I have her, and then I have the second one I picked up. And the only reason why I still have him is I bring him to shows and like let the kids hold him, and that's the one snake that it's like, okay, you know. When they bring the little cute 5-year-old up and they're like, oh, he's never held a snake before. I'm like, oh, okay, here you go, you know. Here's this snake. This is the one you can hold. Like
yeah. Everybody's safe. Going back to like productions and stuff, when did you get your first clutch?
So I got my first clutch in 21. It was just one clutch. Nothing crazy. I was surprisingly happy to find that I was able to actually move them all, even though nobody knew who the hell I was. But that was kind of the same year that I decided to like actually do my business name and start like really doing the social media side of it and just getting myself out there some more. Because I knew at that point I was going to start doing more projects. And I know it's easier to buy from somebody if you at least have a face, you know, that you can somewhat recognize, or, you know, you have a social media channel that you can go to and look and see how they keep their collection even. So that's when I dove into the branding side hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Emilio could probably tell you how much he's probably grown. You think going just by vending, Emilio, like you've definitely have like branched your brand out that much further just by doing all the vending that you've done in the last year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's bro, you get to know everybody in the state. I think Jen, you know, you could
attest. That's how we met. Yeah.
You meet everyone. A lot of these people hit the shows all the time, bro. You get to know people by name. You know what they like. You know what they're looking forward to. A lot of these people are hitting the same shows. You know, all over the state. Yeah.
And you guys know what Florida's known for: reptile keeping. Like that's like a mecca, right? Mm-hmm. And so I know there's a lot of like, okay, if you want to become a business in Florida breeding reptiles, you're kind of up against a lot of competition, no matter what the species is, because a lot of people are doing that, right? So with all that being said, and on top of being a female keeper, you know, I've had a couple conversations with some female keepers who kind of feel like they're not taken too seriously because they're a female. And I don't know how you feel about that, Jen. You know, you've obviously been around for a few years and you are in Florida. You've vended, I'm assuming at this point, right? Have you done any vending? So
I have, yeah.
So you being on both sides of the table and whatnot, do you feel like that's something that you have felt, at least in the ball python game, or what do you have to say to that?
I mean, it is still a predominantly male industry, but I don't think it's been harder per se because I'm a woman. I think ultimately, if you get out there and you bust your ass and you take things seriously and people see that you aren't just treating it like a joke, then it's easier to build that credibility. I got in pretty quickly with people like Steve MORPH and the Bods, and like that's our little group that we hang out with all the time. So I think that did help too, for the fact that, you know, I got in with some very amazing keepers and breeders who have really supported and mentored along the way. But, you know, besides the, you know, messages where it's, oh, hey, brother, what's going on? And I'm like, you know, like, or even I sent my cash out for somebody to buy one once and it was my picture. And he's like, oh, bro, your wife is so hot. And I'm like, you know, thanks, bro. Like, she takes all my money, you know, like. But I mean, for the most part, once I got my name out there and people realized that it's me that this is my thing, this is my business, it wasn't hard. I mean, there's still a few people who think it's my husband's thing, and he's quick to be like, it's not mine at all. Like, I'm just here as the bouncer and the support, you know, it's her thing. This is totally her thing.
Yeah. He's usually in the back, like. Yeah,
he stands back. He just, I mean, he'll wave, but it's very much my thing. He helps out. He designed my logo. When I did my website, he helps out when I have questions on that, just because I don't know how to do all the coding and linking. So he's helped out with those type of things, but he's made sure to push people back towards me when they've messaged him or reached out to him too. So,
and I think that's like the best thing anyone should try to approach their other half with, or their you know, significant other, only if they're trying to be like, how can I convince my wife or husband to let me buy more reptiles? Like, you got to get it in a place where they feel comfortable letting you do your thing, and then if that works out, then you can find ways where they can help out in certain aspects. You know what I mean? And like, you know, I'm sure your husband's not trying to help you assist feed or anything, you know, but if there's other things that he's good at and you know that he can help at, he'll come to the fucking plate and help you. And I think, dude, that's how my wife is with me, and especially Emilio's wife. Like, I've seen her in action. It's like, it's fucking the best of both worlds when that happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think you almost have to be successful. To be successful in this, your partner has to be on board on some level.
Yeah,
I mean, because it takes a lot of sacrifice from the family and everything else, and down to, like, he helps me with the rats for the most part. It helps me at show setups and takedowns, that type of thing. But if he weren't on board, I don't think I would be where I'm at today.
And I'll just say, I'm not saying I'm Mr. Perfect fucking husband, but little tip out there: be a good fucking boyfriend or husband, whatever you are. Just make sure you're doing what you need to do, like pay the bills, make sure you're taking her out to eat, and just fucking do that part, and everything else should be fine. And if they can't be fine with that, then you gotta draw that fucking pros and cons T-chart, man, and just start fucking.
So Emilio's always in the boat. He's taking her out for relaxation.
Oh, yeah. I used to be able to get away with telling you, say, oh, you've never cleaned, you know, poop. You've never cleaned poop, whatever. She'll hold a snake here and there, right? She likes them, but she's never done any of the husbandry shit, right? And then now at the shows, she does clean poop, right? So I can't say it anymore.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't really help with the poop cleaning. I mean, he will on occasion, but he will sure as heck come running out here if he hears me like dry heaving with the phone in hand to record it. Or he'll pull up the camera. We have a camera in here. He'll pull up the camera and like record it to the cloud of me in here retching, you know. So
Wait,
He doesn't miss that opportunity.
I'm sorry, and for anyone out there who's confused with me, why would you be dry heaving? What's
So
happening?
I fed on a Friday before a show. I fed, made sure they were all dead, was like, oh, sweet, solid, like, let's load up and go. Came back Sunday night. Yeah, no, somebody had dropped one in the water bowl and decided not to eat it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And I don't do smells. I'm out on the smells.
Bro,
Dude.
isn't it crazy when you go into your reptile room and there's just one of those?
And you're like, something like it smells like a whole mortuary
Bro,
up in here. Yes.
It's gotten to the point where I could pinpoint, I can like kind of follow, and okay,
Dude.
it's here.
And then you open the drawer and it's a wrap.
Yeah, man, fuck.
You want to hear a horror story? You want to hear something nasty? Well, since we're on this topic, why not? Amelia's been in my room, and Amelia, do you know that tool thing that I have? It's like my toolbox, but it rolls. Like it has like I don't know if you can recall me having it, but it's in my room and it's my tool chest and it's on wheels. And there's like something underneath it that you could put a box, like you could store stuff. Anyways, when I first moved into this room, weighing over my head, obviously with all the animals, and I remember laying all the fucking rodents out on that tool chest on the top. And back then I had retics, I had bigger scrubs, so I was thawing out these huge mammoth fucking rats. Like these rats fucking they were so goddamn big. And so this is a time where I was feeding everything and I wasn't really being smart about who I was letting roam the room, which was Mac Dre and Alice. And back then, Mac Dre was just like, he would just crawl everywhere. But what I didn't see that he did was he got where all the rodents were thawing out, and he somehow knocked one of the biggest ones into a box underneath the tool chest, right? But I never caught it. All I could do, I started seeing maggots on the floor. And I was like, why are there fucking, first and foremost, the smell, right? And I was like, I probably went 3 days trying to find out where the fuck this smell was coming from. Moving that tool thing, even though it was underneath the whole time, I'm moving it like, where the fuck could this thing be coming from? Because I'm only checking the cages. I'm thinking this has to be coming from a cage, right? But no, this thing was decaying right underneath my tool chest. Like, and I didn't find this. By the time I found it, it looked like something you could hang on a wall. It was terrible. Okay, but I had something that big and disgusting, decaying, fucking maggot wrote all out in my room about a year ago, and it was terrifying and disgusting.
And it depends how hot your room is, bro. Because
it depends. Either way, it gives you nightmares. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
that smell, you never forget that smell.
It could be super fast, you know.
Yeah, rodents are gross. Anyway, so how are you even feeding the collection? Let's get to how you're supplying the rodents and all that.
So I actually breed my own rodents. I have a shed out back at the back of my property that's been converted to the rat shack. So yeah, I keep it all in house.
I'm assuming your husband has nothing to do with the rodents, or he
helps. No, he helps.
Oh, that's cool.
So he'll actually go out and help. We alternate checking on like waters and food. Cleaning days, he actually goes out there and helps me do all the cleaning. Obviously, I do all the pulling and feeding, but you know, he does help though.
And are you pro mice or pro rats when it comes to your ball pythons?
So I do rats.
Okay, rats.
I do rats, and I have ASFs too.
All right, sorry, ball pythons. Pew, you're out of here. All right, so now we're going to talk green tree pythons, right? What are you going to use? Are you going to prefer mice or rodent or rats when it comes to your green tree pythons?
Well, so right now it's a little tiny baby. It's actually in this little enclosure here. It's only a yearling, so we're still on little mice. I guess it just depends. I haven't thought that far ahead. It's more or less to me like what's going to be the appropriate size at that time. You know, if I have to change it up to rats, I may change it up to rats, but we got a while on mice still.
And shout out to Bill Stiegel, the mayor. You can catch him here every Tuesday night, All in the Tree Tuesdays. But let's kind of get to where the Condro sensation started really kicking off for you. Where did you come across Bill Stiegel's work first and foremost? And
so I actually, my very first podcast interview I did, I had said at some point I'm gonna own a green tree. Like ever since I got into reptiles, I've found them fascinating. And then Bill and I connected on social media, and I started seeing what he was posting. And then last year, was it last year? It was last year. We were actually going back and forth talking about it, and I was like, hey, and in a few months I may reach out to you about picking up a green tree. And he was like, well, great news, I have a yellow Neo available now. And of course I'm like, great, of course you do, because that's the last thing I freaking need. So
were you looking to get a yellow, or did it matter to you?
It really didn't matter to me for the first one. And even going forward, I don't know if it'll matter per se. I mean, there's some really wicked looking red Neos, but I think some of the yellow Neos really go through some amazing OCCs and turn out just as stunning. So I think it just depends. I do like the high yellows. Right. I do like the high yellows.
Well, it's very just like, you know how there's different lines of ball python morphs that aren't all created the same.
Yeah.
It's the same with yellow neonates. Like there are just not all yellows are created equal, but there are yellows where if you pay attention to the lineage, because the lineages are everything. Like if you're looking at the parents, that's going to give you a good idea what direction this yellow is going to look at, because are going to be looking like, because a lot of these parents that look insane, I mean, you'd be surprised how many of these parents are actually yellow neonates. You just don't know that, you know what I mean? Because they got a lot of stuff going on with them. But then you also have stuff like what, Jaeger was the father of the sickness, who will give you insane red or yellow stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're definitely right in a sense. But when it comes to a buying standpoint right now, popularity, like what's going to sell with no questions are the reds.
Yeah, and the really insane looking reds. Yeah, of course.
Right, because just like reds, I mean, I'm just like the yellows. Not all reds are created equal. If you know how to study a fucking neonate, a baby chondro, red or yellow, you can even see some yellows that look very unique and like, holy shit, that's going to be a special one, right? Reds you can see a lot easier. Reds are a lot more like, holy shit, like, you seen Bill's made purple red ones, you know what I mean? And so have a lot of amazing other chondro breeders. But kind of going back to, let's just like with I asked you with ball pythons, I want to ask you with the chondros, like how are you looking to grow into this? Like what's your game plan? Like, like do you have like ambitions to buy more neonates this year, or are you gonna wait? Like what's going on?
So I'm looking to at least probably get one neonate this year, and then gradually just try to add one or two every so often. I don't want to get to a point where it's overwhelming either, since I'm still new into the species and still learning as I go. So that's kind of where we're at with that. I want to focus a lot on just designers though. I don't know how much into locality I will really dive into at this point.
Can somebody clip that and send that to Ryan Young?
Will I change my mind at some point? Possibly.
Woo! I like this girl.
The one you just got from Bill is a designer, correct?
It is a designer.
Right,
the only locality I will have is the one I'm getting at the show this coming weekend.
Okay. For ball python people out there, can you explain that designer that you got, other than
the
name?
Other than its pedigree, that's like buying a freaking dog, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, for a guy that's learning, and MJ, you could help too. I'm still learning all this. I love BIOC stuff, right? What's mixed in that designer that you have?
So from Bill's, for his, I literally just have names and like a chart. It's like a family tree is really what it is. And there's different people's lines that have fed in along the ways. And it really is like looking at a dog's pedigree instead of like an uncharted BIOC female to, an uncharted BIOC male. You have your locality there. Where this, you actually have documentation of generation upon generation upon generation that all kind of feeds into your pedigree, more or less.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you would think, Emilio, that question would be an easy one to answer, but no, not. When it comes to Bill's, his shit is so potent. Like it really goes back, but like really like to kind of give you an idea, like I have Bill's page up now, and like here's one of his lineage charts for Scarface Epidemic Clutch. But if you look, like a lot of the stuff that Bill has had success with today was sired or came from this one right here called Jaeger. Okay. And as you can see, I believe this is the same pairing. Correct me if I'm wrong, if Bill Stiegel is in the building, but this might have been the same pairing that did the sickness. I'm assuming. And I know that Jaeger is an original, like he stands for Marshall Mendez's bloodline. So Jaeger comes from like Marshall Mendez's stock. And Marshall Mendez's stock goes all the way back to like Greg Maxwell's, I think, or some shit. But it's so potent, and but it's also what makes it so neat too, right, Jen? Like that's what because you're not used to that with ball pythons, or nothing's like the Condro world as far as documentation, historical facts with like timelines and everything like that. Like the Condro world has been like this for a long time, and it's kind of what makes it what it is,
Yeah. It very much, like, that's the closest thing I could relate it to, though, is like a dog's pedigree, more or less, where you trace the lineage of the animal. So
very cool.
And that's what will always hold a value in the Condro world, is that exactly. You know what I mean? People will study the buyer, or I'm sorry, people will study the seller or whatever designer they want, but then they'll quick to find out if that seller has crazy documentation on what they've done. It's very quick, like, okay, this person's the real deal, and that's kind of like, I do give props to like the ball python. One of the sponsors tonight's episode is Clutch, right? But Clutch at some point is going to be such a fucking crazy resume for a lot of these up and coming people, or people who are building something where they need to get noticed. Well, dude, when you have stuff attached to you, it changes everything. You know what I mean? Because pictures could do you justice, I guess, or whatever, make a name for yourself. But when you got like stuff documentation wise that's either on your website or in other people's collections, like that's what kind of really puts a name in for a stamp in the Condro world with your name on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay. Go ahead, Emilio.
Yeah, with ball pythons, everyone's moving so fast that no one does, improve or work on lineage, right? I, for one, am one of those people that have worked on some lineage with my Exantic stuff, and I'm proud of that. I might have to start using some of the, the Clutch, the new features with Clutch to kind of take advantage of that. So yeah, I agree with MJ.
Especially in a world of competition, right? And like, we're not the only ones doing this, obviously. Even in Condros, man, like a lot of people are starting to figure out or have better success with Condros in the beginning versus having to fucking eat shit for a few years, then figure it out. So that's changing too. But in a sense, there will never be as many Condros being bred as there is ball pythons. That's a fact. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it what it is, And I'm curious, like, what was it? And you can be real right now, Jen, please. This is
for sure. I mean,
beautiful place about Trap Talk. You're in the nest. You keep it real here. But what was it like? Was it the market change, the change in the market with the ball pythons, or what was it when you're like, you know what, I'm not too like crazy about fucking dumping money in ball pythons anymore, and I rather like pivot? Like what
so
happened?
Honestly, like I had already been tossing it around, and I was like already chipping away at the husband, but that's a harder chip to chip. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a big difference when you're like, oh, I need an enclosure and an $8,000 red Neo versus, it takes a little buttering up. Yeah. But I've been chipping away at him because I'm like, listen, I don't want to just be tied to ball pythons. Like, I will always appreciate ball pythons. It's what got me into this. But it's like breeding freaking rabbits. Like, my child can, for the most part, breed ball pythons. It's just it's a different level of keeping to get into some of the other species. So I already had the one Condro, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to chip away and try to get him into this. And then I kind of watched the market shifting, and I've had success still, even with the market shifting. So that's not even where my issue is. My issue is just, there's so many people who get into it every single day. And where I get frustrated is we put a lot of money into our collections, and we put a lot of work and time into our collections and vending shows and, trying to make sure we produce these amazing animals. And then you watch a DG het clown female walk off the table at a show for $100. And it's like, can you at least recoup your money and freaking rats that you shoved down its throat before you yard sailed it away? Like,
Yeah.
Was it exactly that animal?
it was, and it was at a Repticon, actually.
Yeah, Emilio.
Wow, that person severely. Wow.
Are you surprised though, Biggie? Come on.
No, but a DG het clown female, yes.
It was $150 is what it was.
Was it their DG hypo that got sold for $75 at the Pomona show? No,
that was a pastel
DG
hypo.
Okay, that's right.
Male. Yeah, but it had pastel. I mean,
but that's still terrible. That's fucking I mean, why not just fucking throw it in the air and see who catches it?
And the sad part was it looked like it just came out of the egg too. So
oh Jesus.
Hey, listen, the desperate people I've been bitching about on this podcast here and there about it. Those people aren't gonna last.
No, they won't. But it really, like, if people would, I understand markets change, they fluctuate. Prices will be high, prices will be low. But have some pride in the work you have put into your collection and the animals you have made, and don't just give stuff away for free. If we're going to give stuff away for free, there's plenty of teachers who want a classroom pet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's the pride in what you do. And so I was like, after seeing that and just talking to some of the older breeders that have been around a while, and they're all branching out into other things. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to necessarily branch out into the same things they are doing per se. So I have this animal. I love this species. I'm absolutely intrigued with the species. Let me add to that instead. So that was kind of where the shift was.
Being in Florida, what I could say is, since we have more restrictions on the species we could have, I feel like there's even more ball python competition. So what you're doing is great. You're gonna have more of a diverse collection. I myself have done this as well the last 2 years. Now I have like 4 species. So, but again, ball pythons are my baby, and they always will be. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But yeah, us being in Florida, we're a little bit more under the gun because there's a lot of restrictions, to what we could have.
Yeah, and it makes it harder to branch out. But, like you said, it's always going to be your baby. And I will always have my projects and ball pythons just because I have a lot of fun with it. I just, it's time to branch out. And
you know what, the way I look at it too, this is just my analogy on ball pythons. Because there's some songs out there that you fucking can't stand. And it's only because you hear everyone playing it. And you're just like, dude, like if I hear that song one more fucking time, I swear to God, but at the end of the day, like when you first heard it, you're like, damn, this was a sick ass song. But when you have so many, and then when you have fucking dipshits playing it, and you're like, what the fuck? It just gets old, dude. But mind you, this is why you got to find your place in the ball python game and stay where it excites you. Just like my music. I mean, just because that music that's played on the radio annoys me doesn't mean I don't play music at home, because I got fucking jams. Like, shit, I'm a DJ, mother. I can make people dance. But like, it's like that in the ball python world. You just got to find what makes you dance, I guess. You got to stay in the areas in the ball python world that makes you excited and not do what all the other fucking people are chasing the pipe dreams for. And that's kind of where I understand where you're coming at, Jen, because it's like me. It's like, I rather focus elsewhere, but then I know I'd be a fool if I just got rid of all my ball pythons. And why would I do that? Because it is fun being successful at something, first and foremost. And also, like, they're cool. Like, I mean, they're just certain genetics I cannot see myself not working with ever. Well, and it's always exciting, when you say they start pipping and you don't know what the heck is going to, I mean, you get a gauge on what's going to come out, but really at the end of the day, it's a crapshoot of those genetics, what's really going to come out. So, I mean, I always, there'll always be ball python eggs in my incubator, but, there might be some other species too. Right. Good.
All All right, so real quick, what do you see that wall? What does it look like? How many animals? Like, because
I mean, it's a big wall.
When I go to MJ's and I see his wall, man, his green tree monitors, the chondros, you know, the basins, the northerns, man, it's something like it's a sight to see. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so are we talking just a wall of chondros, or are we talking other kind of species of arboreals?
I don't know. So, like, I've kind of looked at the carpets too.
Oh, nice.
I started diving down. I saw oh my god! I saw a diamond. Saw a diamond.
Can you have carpets in Florida? Can you have carpets?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
And I fell in love, but then I started I watched actually one of your episodes, one of your podcasts, and they started talking about like the limited lineage on like diamonds. So I was like, I need to look into that some more. So would it be all green trees? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not gonna say yes because that'd be a damn lie. I mean,
I've walked into more than a handful of rooms that just had green tree pythons, and dude, beautiful. You won't go wrong, but then also you will be happier if you still had something else.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always be happier with more, you know?
Right. It's just like, well, it's kind of like, yeah, you can have a bunch of different fucking like paint splattered fucking chondros, but then also when you have something with a different shaped head or either something that's either bigger or whatever, it switches up the vibe. Like that's all it is, you know? And it's something like us are gonna need, especially I can only imagine your wall will definitely have a lot more than just chondros in it, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's like a 200-foot wall, so I got some space. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big wall. 200 foot? What? That's huge.
It's got some space.
Are you in your house or where?
I am. So we have it's like an oversized 2-car attached garage that we converted.
Wow.
To my reptile space.
Dude, you get into some tree monitors.
But I do, so I have thought about that because I was like, how cool would that be? You know, here comes Jen, the crazy redhead with her damn big ass tree monitor. You know, who needs a crazy cat lady? She got the damn crazy reptile lady, you know?
Reptile lady over cat lady all day, every day, if that was my hot seat question. Just saying. You know?
Yeah, well, I could see that for sure. I think that'd be most people's preference, honestly, at least in this industry. But I also have a 4-car detached oversized garage that we've debated like converting and building out. So
damn. So are you like in the sticks in Florida with a bunch of property?
I am. I'm out in the country. Yeah.
Damn, that's sick. Fuck yeah. So so you said you're close to Tampa then?
I am. So I actually moved out of Tampa to Lakeland. I'm actually like 45 minutes from Orlando or Tampa, either way. I'm dead center, but I wanted property and I wanted space to, you know, out here, if I want to build even like an indoor outdoor enclosure for monitors, I have the space to do it and I'm not locked in, you know? So.
Man, I dream of outdoor. I mean, I do and I don't because, you know, I want outdoor enclosure so bad, but I want to do it completely right where I know it's going to be a shit ton of money. It's not going to be cheap. But it's just a dream of mine. It'd be fucking, but in Florida, that's the best place in the world, best place in the country, let me just say, to have stuff outside would be Florida for sure. Like just because of the humidity and, you know, all the weather and all that. It has been getting a lot more hotter in Florida, hasn't it? Like,
yeah, it's
unbearable. Been right. So can we talk about that, guys? You know, you two people in Florida, are you dealing with different weathers, even though you're a little further apart, or are you getting like hurricanes as much as,
I mean, we haven't really gotten any hurricanes yet this year. Knock on wood.
I think you're pretty insulated in Lakeland.
Yeah.
You know, they'll hit Orlando or they'll hit Tampa, and by the time it gets to you, they're a freaking tropical storm, so you're pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I'm very coastal. I get that coastal wind. I'm in a flood zone. So, yeah, I have an emergency plan. And, I mean, I have a nice breeze that comes in. But, like, the other day it was 93 degrees. But it's a breeze. I get a breeze, and it kind of helps a little bit. Very humid. But, yeah, I'm always worrying about hurricanes, man.
You don't have to worry about floods where you're at, Jen?
No, I am pretty much dead center in the state. Where I was at, I was close to the water. So I was only like 15 minutes from the closest beach from where I was at. So there I had to worry about it a little bit more. But yeah, no, I got to worry about a big ass oak tree falling on my house before I got to worry about anything else, you know? Or, you know, something knocking down my pool enclosure, you know, that's my biggest worry. But
now, getting back to like this production side of things, you know, what are you looking to produce number wise this year? Like how many clutches do you want to hit? And let's say next year, if you do breed, what are you looking to do?
So this year so far, I will be at 10 clutches for sure. I have 4 other girls that I'm still pairing. And then I had 3 reabsorb on me for this year. So, I mean, I'm still looking at 50 to 60 babies for the season, which for me it's not bad since I do the shows. So whatever I don't hold back will go right to the show table, you know. Next year, probably 15 to 20 pairings. Okay. So I still want to keep it manageable. I, you know, work 50 to 60 hours a week. I go to school full time. So I have a lot pulling me in different directions. So I don't want to do much more than that because I don't want to get burned out either.
So wait, you work full time, you go to school full time, and you have 4 kids?
He's a killer. He's a killer. I told you he was aggressive, bro.
What do you do for work? If you don't mind
I manage a branch for a credit union.
Oh, so you're in the banking industry.
Yeah.
Dude, my cousin's been, I mean, I got family that's been in the banking industry for years.
I've been in it since I was 18 years old. So
my cousin hates it.
Yes. And that's me. I'm to the point now where like I've always been in the branch side of things. And I'm like, you know, you get to a point where you get so old that you just can't tolerate people anymore. And I think I've hit that point. Like,
yeah, dude. And you
I'm like, I can't deal with you anymore, you know? So.
And I never knew how my cousin did it because her personality is like me. Like she don't give a fuck. But, and I know in the banking world, it's super corporate, right? So, but she's done great in that aspect, but she's so drained and like, she just can't deal with people no more. Like she's at that point, just like you said, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I thankfully work for a smaller credit union and my boss kind of knows what he was getting with when he hired me. So, I mean, for the most part, I don't come out of pocket, but you know, there are times where I just get tired of somebody's crap and I'm like, listen, just cut the BS. Like I'm not paid enough for your crap. So there's the door.
What are you going to school for?
So I am going to school for my bachelor's in business management.
Oh, cool.
And then I want to transfer and get my MBA with a focus on compliance and anti-money laundering.
Damn. Anti-money laundering. And what are you looking to do with something like that?
So I want to get into the back office. So I want to be that person that sits on my ass at home and, you know, just goes through people's accounts, looks for people who are basically literally money laundering, that type of thing. And whether I work for the bank still or I go private and work, you know, for a private company somewhere else, or it kind of opens up the opportunities for me, but it also allows me to get into upper management instead of just being mid-level management. So.
Damn, I'm just thinking about like, I don't how good could I be like finding motherfuckers like that's not you, like that's not you, or like I don't know, but it could be tedious work too because you're just constantly looking at a screen, right? And like,
yeah, and that's the one part where it's like, okay, like I still want something that breaks me away from that, yeah, because I can only stare at a screen for so long before I'm ready to pull the trigger, you know.
This would all keep you at home still though, right? Like you're looking to still work from home as your game. That's your, in a perfect world, that's what you'd want.
My perfect world, I'll work from home. So that it just would allow me more balance with what I love doing. Plus it'll pay more. So, you know, you can't turn a blind eye to that.
That's another thing COVID really did to this world is it made people more comfortable working from home than going to an office, to the point where they're like, well, fuck, I'll just get a job that lets me work from home and I'll quit. And like, it's that crazy. You know what I mean? Because my wife's almost there. Like my wife's company is like now starting to try to pull people back in when Not, and my wife's like, we have our newborn baby in a sense, not really newborn. He turns a year tomorrow, actually. Fuck. But it's kind of less,
Yeah, but she doesn't want to miss that time. I mean, those are the years that you want to be around for, quite honestly. So.
Yeah, but that just kind of just shows like a lot of people in that same situation, or people just who don't want to leave their house, period. You know what I mean? Like, and so, yeah, and I think it's kind of good and bad. I don't know.
It's changed things significantly.
It really
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's more of like I could work from anywhere in the world. So if I want to travel, I can travel and not have to worry about, being at work on Monday at 9 a.m. I can just sit my ass in a hotel bed somewhere and log in, So the flexibility that it would offer is kind of what draws me that direction. But I need the bachelor's and master's degree to get there. So
you 4 kids, what's the ages, if you don't mind me asking?
16, 13, 9, and 7.
16 years old?
Yes, I have a 16-year-old. He's like a whole man. Yes. He's actually taller than me. He's like 6'3", 180 pounds, size 14 foot.
How old are you, Jen?
I'm 36.
Damn, that's still young. Like to have. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you had a kid at a young age, obviously.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
I mean, it was rough. To say that it was easy, it would be a lie, So my 3 oldest ones are actually from my ex-husband. We got a divorce. It's been 8 or 9 years now, 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
So my kids have been through some journeys with me, and we've all kind of grown together, quite honestly.
Right.
Especially my oldest. I learned how to be a mom with him.
Right.
So, and then my youngest is actually not biologically mine. It's been just over a year and a half since I legally adopted him. He's biologically my husband's, but his mom was not an active part of his life at all. So I terminated her rights and adopted him.
Well, that's fortunate for you to have, and for the kid, I think that's, a lot. I mean, I think about that, because you think about a lot when you have a kid yourself about how fucked up a lot of other kid situations could be out there. And just having to think of a kid to get through this world with no guidance, with no, it's because I think a lot of kids are raised just with single parents, right? But there's even kids out there who don't even have parents at all. You know what I mean? And and like that right there, nothing breaks my heart more to see a kid in that position. You know what I mean? And if I could stop anything in this world other than fucking war and stuff, is like having kid not have a parental figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was like, he's been in my life since he was, I don't know, just over a year old. So I've always been mom to him anyways, because his, bio wasn't active. She had her demons and that's what took her away. But I was big on, he deserves the same type of love that my kids have. My kids grow up in a split home per se, but their dad and I co-parent. They're loved in their dad's house. They're loved in my house. They're provided for regardless. So, he deserves a mom and a dad too. So that was kind of where we ended up.
You guys were probably around the same age when you had your first kids then, right? Because you were 18, right, Emilio, weren't you?
Nah, I was 20.
So I had just turned 20. Yeah, I had literally just turned 20.
Yeah, what it does is you can't fuck around. Hey, balls.
You have no choice but to grind it out at that point.
Balls to the wall, pedal to the metal. Go make it. You better go make it.
Yeah, you have no choice but to grind it out. But honestly, I wouldn't change anything.
Me neither.
We've had our struggles, but he's, I'll be 40 and he'll be 20. So, and he's already like, Mom, when I turn 18, we're going to the club. But he's the same one too, who the moment some guy looks my direction, he's like puffing up, the hackles are standing up on the back of his neck. Why are you looking at my mom? And I'm like, because they probably think I'm your sister. You look like a grown man and I look like a child. They really probably think I'm your sister.
So what I'm curious is your kids, how much are they into the reptiles? Do you feel like some of them are willing to maybe learn the ropes and take the torch someday? Or is it just kind of really your own thing out of the entire family?
My oldest has zero cares for it. Zero cares. My 13-year-old, he actually, the tortoises are his, and then he actually has a couple of snakes in the collection. He's had one clutch so far. We have a split clutch in the incubator now. That's a hypo clown project we're doing together. My daughter is all about all the reptiles. They're all hers, according to her, because she comes out here and feeds them every day.
Well,
so, which really, she doesn't feed all of them. She, names all the rats as I try to feed snakes. And she does feed, like, the bearded dragon thing is her thing with the youngest. She's like, we're going to start a business called Sadie's Dragons, and I'm going to make all sorts of bearded dragons. I'm like, I don't know where you're going to house them, but sure, way to go with the ambition.
you do have the one then, the daughter. That's the one.
I have one, the princess. Yeah, she runs the house. Don't have girls.
So what? She's the only girl out of 4.
Yeah, 3 boys and a girl, and I am a boy mom through and through, 110%. I could deal with the boys, holes in the drywall, fist fights. I can deal with that all day long. My daughter, I struggle.
Yeah. I think especially nowadays you can't really can't judge a girl nowadays, man. Because look at you, like girls are badass, So I'm like, it'd be cool to have a cool badass daughter, but then I'm like, there is that other side, that like the princess that never she wants a boyfriend right away, and she wants to be wants to put makeup on at 6. Like that right there would drive me up the fucking wall. I wouldn't know, because what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? And so I know what I would do actually, but I'm just saying and Emilio dealt with that twice. 2 girls Emilio's had.
Yeah, and then you're driving home one day and she says, Mom, I'm just gonna marry a really rich man. He's gonna be a billionaire, and then you can move in with me. And I'm like, thanks. Don't know when you plan on even dating, but sure. All right.
All I've ever told my girls is I don't want them to depend on anybody but themselves. Independent. I don't want them depending on no man.
Yeah.
Well, for her, she's like, I'm gonna lock it in some way, shape, or form, So I'm either gonna be a vet, I'm gonna marry a rich man, or I'm just gonna beat up everybody that I come across. So
So I want to get back to Condros real quick. What are you doing to kind of, not only keep your excitement as far as like the learning side of Condros, but like what's your go-to right now? Where do you feel like you're gaining the most knowledge when trying to have anything question that pops in your head that relates to Condros?
So obviously my go-to for anything husbandry or any off-the-wall questions or anything like that is Bill. It's just easy to shoot him a message, but I do watch a ton of podcasts. I'm like, any podcast that I can even just turn on while I'm studying and just listen to, I'm listening to it. Because ultimately everybody does things differently with Condros, and it's what works for different people. Do I continue down the path with Bill, which I probably will, because I found much success with even getting this one set up. It's a lot different than ball pythons, that's for sure.
And I'm glad you said that, because I feel like you could get a lot of information from ball python people and still kind of pinpoint like what you want to do. But in the Condro world, there are like a million ways to do one thing, right? Like you have somebody who lives in a certain part of the country that does things the way they do them, and there are just reasonings why everyone does something that's successful in the Condro world, right? And it's not as easy as gathering information from all over and just picking whichever one that makes more sense as far as to you, but you need to find out what makes more sense to you demographically. You know what I mean? You're in Florida, like, God damn, like you don't have to worry about spraying. You don't, like, if you just put a good sized water bowl in there, you don't have to worry about shit, right? Because it's super humid where you're from.
It is. In here though, the humidity stays right around like 40%. So it doesn't really get too humid in here. So sometimes I do spray. I just kind of monitor. I use my center push and just monitor the humidity. On occasion, if I need to, I spray, but it's like every few days, if that. It's not every day like some people have to do. But like you said, it's just finding what works here. like I said, I'll probably just always follow like Bill's guidance and what he's already given me because that works for my setup in here.
Yeah.
But it is good to like watch other people and see what people have success with. So if I have questions about something that I'm seeing, I can then bounce it back off of Bill.
So what are you doing as far as temps in your room? Like, what do you keep your room at?
So my ambient in here actually sits right at 80.
Okay.
And then at night, it drops to about 76 in here. So for the most part, I don't have a lot of heat running in here because it kind of stays warm on its own. My racks, like everything's obviously still set up. My ball python racks, I sit at 86. So they'll kick on and then they kick off and stay off for a while just because they warm up and it doesn't fall back. The green tree, for the most part, stays right out. Like it's not even running right now for the green tree because it's warm enough in here. So. And
you're in your garage, you said, right? That's where all your stuff. So do you have an option to like open up a garage door and like air things if you wanted to?
Yeah, so we still have the garage door in here. It's fully insulated out though. And then all the walls are insulated. And then we have 2 AC vents that dump air in here as well. When I'm not doing like the podcast, I just have a couple fans that oscillate to kind of keep air moving though. So it doesn't get like stagnant in here.
I think that's so important, you know, and I didn't realize that until I got into this room, you know, because you're figuring out a new room and what you could do. And then like, obviously there's certain smells that you like, air that just sits there, right? Like it's a musty, not a good feeling, you know? And so one of the things when I finally got this room done was realizing like how important the airflow, the constant airflow. And, you know, if I have the option to bring, you know, because, you know, I have a good, you know, here in San Diego, like we have weather where when it's not too hot, we have great fucking airflow and like, you know, good wind going out. And I just think it's important to try to get some of that fresh air in if you don't have any kind of venting system already. And I just think longevity wise for your animals, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we open, so on the weekends when I'm like I'll go through and I'm OCD, I go through and sweep everything. I get in here and mop everything. Like, I'm probably a little OCD and that's okay, but I'll open up the door when I'm doing that. I just don't want to open it up too much because it's hotter than Satan's front porch. So then it jacks the room temps up really high in here if I have that door open too long. So, but I'll even open like the door that leads into the house. I'll open that and kind of let the transfer of air blow through too sometimes. So, you know, don't need it too hot in here.
I'm very OCD, clean floor. I like, I don't even let fools wear shoes in this room. I mean, and it's kind of contradicting because I will, but then if someone's coming to visit, I'm like, dude, don't put your shoes in here. And they're like, oh, you can't wear shoes in here? Well, I mean, I'm like, I can, but you can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through and like wipe everything down every week. And like I said, sweep and mop the floors and wipe all the shelving units down. Like
I try to take full advantage of the fact that my room is connected to my house, where if I have to roll out of bed, I could come into my room and, you know, of course I'm going to be barefooted and I want to know that I'm stepping on a nice, clean fucking floor. And you know, when your feet hit a clean floor, you know
there's a difference.
Yeah, it hits different. You know what I mean? And mind you, like there's times where the room is, you know, like you get done doing a bedding change or something and you just see
there's chip on the floor. Yeah,
what's on the floor and you just like your eyes are like, oh my god. But it's kind of like how why I miss, the only thing I miss about rodents and keeping and breeding rodents was the day where it was a rodent day and all the chores were done and I was about to hit the switch and just seeing how clean everything was, right? Because I knew it wasn't going to last. I knew I had maybe a couple days and that smell's going to come right back. But it was that moment right there. I felt so proud of having a clean rodent room, you know? And so at least I know having a clean reptile room goes a lot longer than a rodent room for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I sweep every morning, every night. I sweep twice a day in this fucking room. Sweeping is like, I feel like if it's one thing I inherited with my Mexican culture is the way I fucking the way I sweep and clean in here, dude. I'm just like my grandpa, my grandma, man. I don't fucking play. But also feels good too, you know, because these are animals, you know, they're my children in a sense. Like I just want them to be in a clean area, you know. So
well, and it's something to walk out to like your room and it's like calming to, it's clean, it's quiet, you might have a podcast playing or whatever, but it's like that's almost like a sanctuary. Like there are times where I just come sit out here. My husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to relax. Like Get out of my she shed. You know, this is my man cave. Like,
All right. I wanna pivot back to ball pythons for a minute.
Shit. I'm just kidding.
You know, you mentioned DG Clown. Where do you see yourself going with that project? I love that project. Where do you see yourself going with DG Clown? Like, what's gonna be that combo that makes you just go ape shit?
I want to. So I love the way that Blackhead Mojave Huffman looks in like hypo and hypo clowns. So I want to work that into DG clowns. That's really one of my focuses right now, is to get that into DG clown, if I can.
Blackhead everything, bro.
Yes, exactly. So that's, like I said, that's one of my main things right now, is the Blackhead Mojave Huffman and a DG clown.
Sweet. Sounds.
I like
now,
that.
if it'll pan out my favor, that would be amazing. But if you see me doing some weird dances, just know I'm trying to pray for the odd gods. I'm sacrificing whatever I need to. You know what I'm saying?
The Huffman stuff is so untapped.
Yes. Yeah, there's not a lot of people that are messing with it. Like, I know Steve's got it. That's who I got my Huffman stuff from, was Steve. But
What's the best Huffman stuff out there? With visual. His visual Huffman, like Clown Huffman and stuff like that.
I mean,
Steve just did a Huffman. I believe it was a Huffman. Was it Blackhead Mojave Huffman? Blackhead Mojave? I don't know. He just did a pairing. I want to say there was Huffman in it for Hypo Clown, but he's got a lot of Huffman, and it's amazing.
I haven't seen too many people continue working it. Steve has, and kudos to him. It's good. It's nice. Nice stuff.
I mean, this is sick. I just pulled this up on the Morph Market, and I think that fucking head stamp looks pretty fucking cool. But this is a Huffman head hypo, which I think is priced pretty great.
That's cool.
Might have to, it's sold. God damn it! I was like,
sold. You can't jump on it.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I'm gonna send an inquiry right now. No, but you know, okay, listen. Let's be honest, because Huffman, from what I've heard, or I don't hear shit about Huffman.
You don't hear anything about it.
Why not? Let's talk about it. Why not?
I just don't think. I think it's like some other genes. So like, it just doesn't take off the way other things take off, and you know, with everybody working new projects, and like right now everybody's on the stranger train. So it's like, okay, well, everybody's over here. I'm going to come in over here, you know, and work something that everybody's not working. And not to the sense where obviously DG clown stuff, a lot of people are working, but let me work genes into the project that a lot of people aren't doing.
Why do I feel like Stranger's falling off a little bit?
And then I'm going to keep them all in my whole back racks and not sell any.
Do you hear what I said though, Jen?
Why do you feel like Stranger's falling off?
Yeah, am I tripping? Do I feel like now Stranger's even kind of like not like that hype? It just isn't there as I once. And I have Stranger stuff, so I'm not hating at all. I love my Stranger stuff, but I feel like that has been less talked about, or because, you know,
I think it's just, I mean, it's a beautiful gene and it does incredible things in combos. So I don't think I'll ever lose the appreciation for it. I feel like it's what everybody is getting into. Like, if people weren't already into it and working it in their projects, everybody's making it a point to buy it. So every other post you see now is, oh, I just picked up this Stranger clown, or I picked up this, you know, hypo Stranger, or this Stranger combo, or that Stranger combo. So it's kind of losing a little, I wouldn't say a lot, but I would say it's losing a little of that hype of those initial combos that were coming out, that it was, you know, it wowed everybody, honestly. And now it's, wow, everybody's got it.
And the wow factor comes from rarity. Like, obviously the whole point of why we're like, holy shit, it's because not a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
And now we're just seeing a transition, just like a lot of other things. And that's normal. It's kind of why it's what makes the ball python world what it is. But I feel like Stranger at least had its moment in a sense, and it still does. Like, just go to Straight Fire's page, and if you want to see where Stranger's headed. But
yeah, for sure.
I feel like Huffman's never had anything, like, period. Like, I've never heard any kind of like.
I don't think there's a lot of people working with it, and I think that's part of the reason why. I guess we'll see, right? To be determined on how it pans out. But
Ooh, what about Stranger Huffman? Is there a Stranger Huffman out there?
Not that I've seen.
Well, listen, this is kind of why motherfuckers who are paying attention should be listening to stuff like this, you know? Like, I mean...
Don't go by Huffman.
or maybe do. Like, or maybe if you do have it, you better sit on that shit and make something poppin' with it. I don't know.
Well, and I think even so, I think there's going to be more stranger combos that leave us wowed. It's just a matter of who takes it there. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of combos that are out there that we have yet to see their ultimate potential. And I think that's what makes it fun, is because there's so many genes to play with to capitalize on their potential. So
what's next with those dark genes is simple, man. It's Cosmos.
Which I have none of yet.
Yeah, a lot of us don't have it. And,
yeah,
we need to. Somebody needs to get onto it.
Yeah, that Bambino. And there's quite a few other things, you know, that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's one thing, you know, if I had if I had the pockets and the ambition and energy to drop it on a ball python, it would be that Cosmos shit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be on what's it, Rolf or whatever fucking his name is. The fucking homie from is he German? I forget where he's from.
Might be looking at that next year. We'll see.
Anyways, yeah, shout out to Cosmos, man. But listen, I have a wrap-up topic. We're gonna get to Milo's wrap-up topic, then we have hot seat question for you, okay, Jen?
Okay. All right.
But you know, primarily, you know, it looks like a lot of your experience is built off ball pythons, respectfully, and which is same for me, you know, and Emilio, that's his bread and butter as far as what he does. So with all the kind of movements being made in the ball python market, and you know, regardless, there's still people coming in, right? How would you advise a new keeper coming in at this point in 2024, where we're at? How should someone be purchasing projects right now in the ball python game?
My biggest thing that I tell people is, before you buy anything, actually go on and see what genes you like, what projects you like. Don't just buy everything you see because you think it looks good to the eye as a baby. My other thing is invest in infrastructure, good equipment, good thermostats. Like, make sure where you're housing your animals is set up to a level that you're not going to be switching it up in 6 months because you should have invested better to begin with. So, and that's keep it easy, you know.
And that's coming straight from Jen.
Speaking from personal experience, because I sold pretty much everything I bought initially, including my equipment, to buy new equipment. So.
Respect. All right, what you got, Emilio?
We've been all over the place with this episode. This was a little different. I knew she had I knew she had a chondro, but I didn't know it was this deep. Alrighty, so again, this is what I typically ask in this situation. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Cigar, where is Cigar City in 5 years?
So I will still be vending, and I will still have ball pythons on some level, but you know, 5 years is a long time, and that's plenty of time to build out my wall. So I will probably have several other species 5 years from now. So,
all right, give us a number. How many chondros do you want in 5 years?
You know, if I could have, you know, just a little group, maybe 10.
Okay.
Sexual maturity for a chondro, what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, a long damn time.
All right, so you might have your first chondro clutch in 5 years.
Relax, dude. That's relax, dude.
Hey, bro. Dude, listen. She's aggressive as fuck.
I might.
Hey, listen.
Jen, ball python energy right here. This is ball python.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't know.
Oh, okay, but tell me you ain't think about that.
No.
I think about it all the time.
All right, tell me you haven't thought that you're gonna have a clutch in 5 years.
Oh, I'll have a clutch in 5 years.
All right, thank you. I know my.
I'll have a clutch in 5 years. I mean, I won't be like some of these people who have, like, you know, 5, 6, 7 clutches, because that isn't realistic with me growing out what I need to grow out. But I will have a clutch in 5 years. Absolutely. how it pans out, I don't know. I may freaking crawl into a hole and cry my eyes out. I
Thank you.
have
Listen,
very realistic expectations.
As long as you know the reality of what it could be.
I have very realistic expectations. I may curl up in a ball and cry and have a little funeral for my ego, but
super, super, super ambitious. So
I mean, but it's the same thing as even shows. Before I stepped out and did a show, I said I'm going to do it right. So I made sure I bought all my displays. I have my banner. Like when I do it right, and I go balls to the wall with it. Like,
well, what's epic is for sure next Trap Talk will be on a Tuesday night for you. The way I see things.
In 5 years.
Well,
now,
yeah.
Whether I'm crying or cheering, well, that's to be determined, right?
Save the crying for the show. I'm just kidding. Here's the thing with the Condros. At some point, you will cry. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what success you've had in the first year, 2, or even 3. Year 4 is right there, and it's gonna fucking kick you in the balls. You'll see. But that's that's what builds Condro keepers of who they are. Like if you look at a Patrick Holmes, if you look at a Gary Shabino, a Bill Stiegel, a Socrates, these guys have been through the ringer. You know what I mean? And that's what gives them the fucking kind of name that they have in the game. You know what I mean? And you kind of need to go through that stuff. Like you could hear horror stories all night, all day long, but until it happens to you, then it stores in your head like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And so all I'm saying is hold on, tighten up your space boots. There's a lot of holy shit moments in the Condro game, but it's also the best game ever. One day, I can't wait. Emilio's going to be, he's going to be a Condro keeper in the near future for sure.
I've been considering some type of outdoor setup. We'll see.
Day by day.
You should do it.
Yeah. All right. Listen, amazing podcast, but now we have hot seat questions. Are you cool with that?
Yep. Let's fire it up.
Guys, before we get to Jen's hot seat questions, if you could please get the likes up, that'd be great. She deserves all the likes. We just had shy of 80 people tapped in, so let's get at least 60-ish likes right now. That'd be great. All right. Likes up, hot seat questions. You know how these work, Jen? The quicker the better.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot seat questions, and then Amelia will end it in Big E fashion. Coming in hot. Here we go. You ready, Jen?
Let's do it.
Frozen thought or live?
Live.
First thing you would feed a baby ball python?
Yeah. We'll do like it depends on their size. I try to do a rat pup, a small pup.
So
small pup, large fuzzy. Yeah, depending on the size of the baby.
I'm hearing multiple answers now. I'm confused. What's one thing you would feed? The first thing you would feed
we'll
a ball
go
python?
with rat pup. There you go. Boom.
Appreciate that. A cut or no cut?
No cut.
All right, respect. Red Condro Designer Neo or yellow Condro Designer Neo?
Fuck my life. I'm gonna have to go with yellow this time.
If it came down to a baby Condro that you produced, okay, pre-first shed meal or post-first shed meal?
Post.
Yay imports or boo imports?
Yeah.
One reptile you would love to import to your collection anywhere around the world?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't know. There's so many out there. Yeah, I don't know. Just give me another green tree. Screw it.
Okay, cool.
Screw it.
Okay. To spray or mist a green tree python or to not spray or mist a green tree python?
Spray and mist.
Are we a fan of sports or not a fan of sports?
I don't have time for that.
Damn. Respect though. I mean, you kind of don't. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't.
Steak or fish?
Fish.
Ooh, favorite fish to eat?
So I like a good mahi.
Ooh, bomb. Like in a taco or just like fillet? Like how do you like that?
Either way.
I love mahi.
Either way. Like a corn taco, like a tortilla taco with the cilantro and lime. I'll eat it like that too. Yeah.
Bomb. Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Yay.
Favorite alcohol beverage? Like what's your like?
My go-to is Jack and Coke.
Oh damn.
A lot of Jack, a little Coke.
Rock and roll. All right, here we go.
Does that surprise you though? Come on,
no, it doesn't. I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Captain Morgan at first.
No.
All right. Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
All right, respect. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
Both.
Come on, Jen, you got this. You're almost there. You're like
the pressure's on me, huh?
West Coast or East Coast?
Yes, all of the above.
We're gonna just sit here then.
Come on. Now.
Are we really just gonna sit here?
Come on,
Oh my god!
You are a minute and a half becoming a JP, a female JP on this thing.
You gonna put some pressure on me?
Get out of this. You're not too deep. You can get out of this.
We'll go. So I like old school. So we'll just go with Biggie.
So which is on what coast?
Great question. I don't pay attention to that.
Wow, dude, you don't know.
That's why you couldn't answer the question.
Oh god.
All right, Jen, I'm gonna help you out on this one because I like you. All right, East Coast. So she is the East Coast.
Listen, I don't know my geographic coordinates to save my fucking life.
I told you Florida people are different. They're like,
shit. Listen, they're like, go east on this road. I was like, is that a right at the gas station or a left? Like,
geographically, Florida people don't know shit. They only know what happens in Florida, and that's it. Nothing else really matters. Right, we're almost done.
Oh my god.
Little word association. Say the first thing that come to mind. You ready?
Sure.
Ball python breeder.
Good luck.
No.
Gross. Ew.
FedEx shipping.
Yay. Good job. Don't lose my package.
Least favorite thing about the ball python game.
You can't say that in one word. Oh my god. The people who sell DG clowns and DG head clowns for $150. That's my least favorite thing about the ball python game.
Hey, pause. Whoever that person is, you destroyed this girl, just so you know. Whoever that person is, you're fucked up. You're fucked up. All right, continue on. All right, here we go. Least favorite incomplete dominant.
Oh. God.
All right, let's be more positive. Tell me your favorite, and I know which one you're going to say, but let's just say it for the record one more time. What's your favorite incomplete dominant in the ball python world? Let's be positive.
My favorite is blackhead.
Blackhead everything. I get it. All right.
Blackhead everything, of course.
All right. Last but not least, before Emilio's, first thing to come to mind. Okay, you can't pause. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. You ready? Coolest reptile network in the world.
Trap Talk Network.
No, that was. She didn't hesitate there. She won in my heart. All right, what you got, Emilio?
All right, listen, this is simple.
Just don't ask me coordinates. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, one's got to go. Okay.
All right.
All right. Clown or puzzle?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
You don't play.
You did this on purpose. Puzzle.
Yes, I did.
Puzzle.
Puzzle has to go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. Paint or monsoon?
Paint.
You hate me right now.
She's gonna say monsoon.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say we're gonna go with paint. We're gonna get rid of paint.
That's a good answer.
Hypo or DG?
Oh, come on.
Is this why you asked me for my list? Because you're trying to pin my genes against you. Oh, okay. I see what we're doing here.
any guests in the future, do not answer Emilio's
Don't. It's a setup. We're going to get rid of DG.
Yeah! Woo! That was epic.
This one might hurt.
Oh, great.
Stranger or blackhead?
Ooh. Oh, she's blackhead everything, bro.
Yeah, stranger.
Okay, but still, she had to pick.
Yeah, I mean, she's always going to pick blackhead no matter what. She's black at everything.
All right.
I'm listening to what she's saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, Wookiee or Cypress?
Ooh, you need both of those.
We're
Tough one, man.
gonna kill Wookiee.
Whoa. All right, I wasn't expecting that, but I like.
That was a hard one, though. Honestly, I debated killing Cypress.
That's
but-
a really good question, especially with where we are with the market right now. Yellow belly lace clown pie or super gravel pastel clown.
Oh, get the pie out of there. Fucking pie hit the road.
Yeah, we're gonna do the super gravel pastel clown on that one.
Wait, that one's leaving or staying?
That one's staying.
Woo!
The other one's leaving.
But that yellow belly lace clown pie is fucking insane. That's why
It
I
is.
asked that
She
question.
ain't got time
It
to.
is.
She ain't got time to ID pies, bro. She's on the go. Hurry up.
No, but it
All
is
right.
insane. It is insane.
I kind of switched this a little bit, but we got some music questions. All right.
Oh, great.
All right. Bone Thugs and Harmony or 3-6 Mafia?
Bone Thugs.
Respect. All right. Where are they from? I'm just kidding.
Actually, I saw them in concert a long freaking time ago. That was probably the best concert to date that I've ever seen.
That still doesn't mean you know where they're from. Just saying.
No,
You
I
don't
can't
know
even
where
find
they're
my way.
from?
I can't even find my way home half the damn time. Come on now.
Hey, they're from Cleveland. Okay. Hey, Busy Bone or Lazy Bone?
Busy Bone or Lazy Bone? Are we? Oh,
You're not
Jesus.
a fan like that, bro. Like, come on.
I'm not a fan like that. Come on now.
All right,
I'm
all
not
right,
you.
all right. Yeah, I guess I was testing you. All right.
I guess.
5-finger death punch or Yuki?
What?
Yuki. And MJ's like, who the hell is Yuki?
What is that?
Down with the sickness.
It's so they search Yuki, YOOKIE,
Uh-huh.
and then they're down with the sickness remix.
What is that? What is it?
You're gonna look at this and you're gonna be like, yeah, this is, yeah, makes sense.
Okay, I think okay, you're good. I know what this
All
is.
right, I got a couple more. Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
Damn. Rihanna or Beyonce?
Seriously, Rihanna.
All right, yeah, I'm with you.
100%.
And that's about it.
All right.
I was gonna ask you about one of your other favorites, Lauryn Hill, but she doesn't show up for anything. So
Well, that's how we end things. Just like that. I know, for real, Jen, this was an awesome time meeting you. And I got to say, you definitely lived up to the badass reptile girl keeping expectation as Amelia would.
So don't ask me east from west.
And yeah, we'll never ask where your favorite rapper is located ever again, for sure. We'll just.
Because I won't know.
hey, Jenny, you going to Daytona?
I am. Yep, I will be there.
Cool.
I can find my way that way at least. I know I got to go east, you know.
I'm looking forward to meeting at Daytona. Like I said before the show started, I'm like head over heels about making it to my first Daytona, only because I get to meet amazing people like yourself for the first time, and this was a great episode. And I really mean it. I have a lot of faith in you in the Condro game, and know that you're going to be back on this show to talk Condros at some point in the next 5 years.
5 years.
No, I can't wait to hang out and meet you, Jen. And for now, for people to be on top of everything going on with your reptile collection, would Instagram be the best place for people to follow you?
So Instagram or Facebook under Cigar City Exotics. I also have a website which can link you to all of my social medias, including TikTok. I don't dance on my TikTok though, so don't get excited, anybody.
Bill just went over to TikTok right now. He was like, listen, okay, guys, I'll put all the links to your website, your IG, all that in the description below. So give her a follow. But first and foremost, give it up. It's a wrap for Jen, Cigar City Exotics, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Later, Jen. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Peace. Really cool chick, man. That was great. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I remember as I went to her page, I'm like, oh, she keeps Condros. Like, that's cool. But I didn't know she was at that level of like, yeah, I'm about to just go into the Condro game now and not much. I wasn't ready for that.
We never talked about it. I'm just like you. I saw one and I was like, okay, she has one, but she's And she got it from Bill.
I mean, come on, bro. I mean, that's kind of like he's the mayor. That's why it's kind of like if you want the for sure best way into the ball into the Condro game, you go through people like the mayor, the Bill Stiegel, and because it comes with more than just a snake, the man's going to take care of you. You know, he's going to make sure you're at least on the right track. All right, because once you show him you're not a tire kicker, oh, you're in his good graces. Bill takes care of his people. Just don't tire kick the man ever in your fucking life.
Bill's a man.
Cannot wait to see Bill, by the way. And I just want to say thanks to everyone who enjoyed tonight's episode. But overall, what did you think of tonight, Emilio?
It's great. Just shows you that no one out there should have excuses. Mom of 4, going to school, works 50 to 60 hours a week. She's hustling. That's what we got to do, man. We got to hustle.
Yeah.
If you ain't hustling, you ain't getting anywhere.
Right. And, you know, I think a lot of people, not that we don't make this clear, but it's like that in anything you do, right, Emilio? Like if you are in a position where you are your own boss, it's your brand, it's all on you. And you have to have a hustle mentality to be successful in anything like that. Because it's you can't be lazy. Your work shows. Like everything you put in shows.
Yeah.
So
you can't settle, man.
You can't, dude.
Yeah. If you ain't moving, if you ain't working,
you're dying.
Don't be mad. Hey, don't be mad at the market. Be mad at yourself.
Yeah.
If you ain't doing everything you can to be successful, you ain't got no one else to be mad at but yourself.
Yeah, it's your money. You spent it. It's like, dude, hello. Like, no one fucking forced you to do this, you know? So, but listen, this is why you got to stay focused. Like right now, this is probably the best time to get into any new reptile fucking project. As long as you are staying fucking focused, you got to stay fucking grinding, and you have to have the right mentality behind anything you work with when it comes to a living animal. Can't have dollar signs. I don't give a fuck what it is. Gotta love it for what it is. So appreciate you, Big E Top G Villarino Reptiles on IG. Subscribe to the V Unit family. Shout out to the entire V Unit family. Going to be meeting a lot of V Unit family members and coming up in the next few weeks. I can't wait, bro. Daytona, man. I'm so fucking pumped up for Daytona, bro. Like, I just can't wait to tap in. It's gonna
be
great.
You know, I think you know already. I'm not a party animal, but
you're coming out that night.
Saturday night, we're gonna fucking party, bro.
Woo!
We're gonna roll like 50 deep, 60 deep, bro.
Hey, you're still taking me to the airport Sunday, right?
Yeah. If anything, let's settle drive.
She's a real one, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a real one. I do these Monday nights, never miss, all because you come through. I appreciate it so much. Again, guys, Villarino Reptiles, give it up. I'll see him next week here on Trap Talk. But have a good night. Give it up for Biggie Top Talk.
Reptile Network, baby.
All right, bro. Have a good night. Thank you. Appreciate everyone who tapped in. Thank you so much, Jen from Cigar City Exotics. What an amazing female reptile keeper we have in the game. Go give her a follow. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, hit that subscribe button. Help my organic subscribers get up. Let's go to 15K, then 20K, then 30K. We're just going to keep grinding and keep moving, man. And speaking of grinding and moving, if you are looking for exclusive content, if you want to get more behind the scenes of what I have going on for the Trap Talk Reptile Network, then do me a favor. Click the very first link in the description below. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to a Discord attached with over 200 awesome reptile keepers, an amazing Instagram group chat with all the trappers. You guys, I'm telling you right now, the Patreon members, you guys are my heart. Love you guys. But I appreciate everyone here. Don't forget, tomorrow, All in the Tree Tuesdays. Got a homie from Australia tapping in. One of Australia's best Condro breeders coming to Trap Talk for All in the Tree Tuesdays, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Be ready. Nothing but bangers, 7 days a week at the Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. And that's a fact. Have a good night. Episode 518 in the books. See you here tomorrow. And I'm out.